Hey beautiful people, it's your girl Kyla Cooper, and today we are going to talk about how to overcome imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is essentially saying that you have accomplished a myriad of things. You are now in a new space because of those accomplishments. However, you feel inadequate because you don't feel as though you belong in that room. You feel as though maybe people are going to find out that you're a fraud, that you don't belong there, that everyone else is better than you. And it causes a little bit of anxiety associated with that. So I want to make sure that when you're showing up in your professional career, when you're showing up in your personal life, that you feel as though you belong in that room and that you are there to make change, to grow, and to influence others. So let's go ahead and hop on in and let's figure out how to overcome this imposter syndrome. There's two sets of things that need to take place here. The first item is that we are going to look at a mindset shift. Then the second grouping, we're going to take a look at some actionable steps you can take to help you overcome that imposter syndrome. So the first item with the mindset shift, it's important that we really take a look at what's causing that imposter syndrome. We know that imposter syndrome stems from a feeling of self-doubt. So why do you feel as though you're not enough? Why do you doubt your ability? Why do you doubt why you're in that room? That's essentially what we're going to uncover in this mindset shift. And I have two tips and tricks for you on that. The first mindset that you need to adopt is that no one else is like you. You are uniquely made. You have your own fingerprint. You have your own body type. You have your own voice. Everything that essentially comes together to make you, you is completely and utterly unique to you. You are your own individual. Let's not forget that God created Adam in his image. So we are made directly in God's image. We are unique, we are beautiful, and each of us has something that is worth sharing, that is worth growing, and we are absolutely amazing at what we do. So you need to make sure that you understand that you are uniquely you. And so with that being said, that evens the playing field. There is no one above you. There is no one below you. Yes, we may experience different things in life. Yes, we accumulate different material goods. However, when you really think about it, we are all born. We all experience this life. And then we all eventually exit this world. So we want to make sure that you understand that that playing field is even. Nobody's better than you. Nobody's worse than you. We are all experiencing this journey together. And you are uniquely you for a reason. The second mindset that I want you to adopt is that no one's perfect. Why do you expect perfection from yourself when perfection doesn't exist? There's no perfect human on this planet. So why do we feel as though we have to be some image of perfection to be worthy of people's attention? No one else is perfect. They're making mistakes. However, they're learning from those mistakes and they're growing through them. So don't feel as though that you have to show up and be perfect. If you're in a space, you deserve to be in that space. If you're invited into a boardroom speaking to executives and you're not yet an executive, you're in that room for a reason. So don't feel as though you need to be perfect in order to show up there and to be heard. So those are the two mindsets that I want you to adopt. Let's hop on into those actionable steps. With that, there's 5 of them. So I want to make sure that we uncover the very first one, which is so important and near and dear to my heart, which is gas yourself up. You have to celebrate yourself. You have to love on yourself. One of my mantras that I've been saying since I was a child is that no one is going to love you like you love you. So if you're not loving you, if you're not taking care of you, no one else is going to do better than that. Everybody is so consumed with their own lives that they can't possibly pay attention to every little detail that you're going through in your life. So love on yourself. You deserve to be loved. You are unique, like I just mentioned. So make sure that you are gassing yourself up. Celebrate your wins, celebrate your losses, celebrate things that you don't even like about yourself, because at the end of the day, those are the things that make you you. And then you always can work through and change those things that you don't necessarily like about yourself, but be appreciative of how that has influenced and shaped who you are today. So celebrate yourself, love on yourself, because you want to be the example for other people to love on you. Next, I want you to go ahead and ask questions. One of the big things about imposter syndrome and having self-doubt is really just a fear of not having the proper knowledge base. You fear that you don't have enough knowledge to compete with the people in the room. So why not ask questions? Talk to those people who know a little bit more about that process or that system. Make sure that you are comfortable asking good questions, because unfortunately, I don't believe this, where people say there is no such thing as bad questions. There is a such thing as bad questions. So make sure that you're understanding good questions. And how do you know that you're asking good questions? You take that time to analyze the situation, really think through it before you go and figure out what some of those gaps are. I feel like a lot of time people may ask questions and they don't really take that opportunity to do research or analysis beforehand. I think that's the key there. Research and analyze what it is that you need to, and then come through with some thorough questions, helping you bridge that gap in your knowledge. If you have that knowledge, then you won't feel as inadequate when you're in that room. Similarly with that, not only do you have that fear of a knowledge gap, you also have a fear of not showing up each and every time. One of the things with imposter syndrome is that you are fearful that people are going to find out that you're a fraud, that everything about you is fake, and that you are not meant to be in this space. Well, how do you overcome that feeling of not being a fraud? Well, you're in this room for a reason, right? So you need to make sure that you show up when you can. You want to make sure that you have your routine in place, that you have your systems in place that help you to be the best person that you can be. I know that in order for me to show up adequately at work, I need at least 8 or 9 hours of sleep. I absolutely need it. So for me, that means I need to go to bed at a reasonable hour. I also need to wake up at a reasonable hour, so that way I can eat breakfast, I can get dressed, I can make sure that I'm decompressed before I start work. You want to make sure that you're prepared, so that way you can show up your best each and every time. The next step is a little bit what I alluded to earlier, which is make change happen. The source of self-doubt typically comes from you not feeling as though you can compete with other people in the room. So you see where you are, you see where they may be. Okay, well, how do you get there? Let's make change. Let's set goals. Let's figure out if you want to become a better public speaker, if you want to become a better writer, if you want to just simply ask better questions, make that a goal for yourself. And then stick to a routine or a pattern that's going to help you achieve those goals. So you want to make sure that you are making change happen, so that way you can bridge that gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. The last item is that you want to take up space. You want to make sure that when you walk into a room, you are not sitting in the back, just ready to listen, take notes, and leave. You want to take up space. You want to sit in the front. You want to take notes. You want to ask questions. You want to be engaged. You want to give feedback. You want to make sure that you are present and that people acknowledge that you are there. You want to take up that space because you belong in that space. You want to make sure that you're not hiding out in the corner where no one else can see you. You want to make sure that you are seen. That is so important, to take up space. And it is okay to do that. It is not a problem to do that because you are here and you are there to take up space. So that's just my quick synopsis on how you can overcome imposter syndrome. One, you want to understand and adopt the mindset that no one else is you. You are unique. Two, you also want to adopt the mindset that no one is perfect. So stop expecting perfection from yourself. Three, you want to ask really good questions to bridge that knowledge gap. You also want to gas yourself up, which is number 4. You want to make sure you celebrate yourself to build confidence in yourself. 5, you want to be prepared. You want to make sure that you have your routine in place so that way you can show up authentically each and every time. 6, you want to make change happen. If there are certain things that you know that you can improve on, make it happen. And then lastly, you want to take up space. Make sure that when you're in that room, people know that you're there. That concludes my tips on how to overcome imposter syndrome, how to lessen that self-doubt. Like, comment, share the video. I will see you guys next week. Bye.